Of the two things that came up new this week, my favorite is the next one here, this 2022 Honda Civic.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is interesting because we've talked at length about our disdain for the design styling of current Honda Civic and Accord models.
Yes.
They've stripped all of it.
Yeah.
Have you seen these pictures?
Oh, man. Yes.
It looks good. It's just a car again.
Yes. Yeah. Part of what we didn't like about the current version of the Civic and the Accord, they were just very overstyled. They were very race, like 16-year-old race car, Hot Wheels, like that sort of Need for Speed type thing. Like they just looked like they were modded already.
Yeah,
and when a factory does that, it doesn't look good because you end up with chintzy plastics in places and too much going on, especially for the base models. Like the Civic Type R will be crazy and that's fine. But for the base model Civics and Civic SIs, they were just over-designed. And it looks like, to me, now I don't know if you'll agree with this, but to me, it looks like they brought somebody in from Volkswagen almost.
I was going to
had them
say
like
that.
tighten everything down.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, have you seen the tail lights like lit up? I mean, it looks Jetta-esque.
Yeah.
The body lines are strong enough where they can speak for themselves. The accents are in some like chrome pieces that are black. You know, just it's a minimalistic design. I mean, it really done well. And the interior follows the same stuff. Clean. I mean, it's a Civic. You're not going to get a ton of stuff, but what I thought was interesting here was the size of the engine. It's only a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder, which, you know, you're used to in a Honda, but it's turbocharged. So it's putting out like 180 horsepower, which I think is pretty good for such a small engine.
The engineering that's being done on small turbocharged engines is pretty incredible. Mm-hmm. The fact that you can take a small 4-cylinder engine and put a decent turbo on it and tune it in a way, and it's not like the old turbos, right, where you press the gas pedal and the turbo would have to spool up for 3 minutes before you got any power, you know?
Right, yeah.
Like these are pretty instantaneous power now.
I would drive one of these on a regular basis. I really would.
100% I would daily drive one of these. Probably would go SI if I was going to daily it. But even the normal run-of-the-mill, they look the way that they should have looked.
That classic car should look. I mean, like, it's a entry-level sedan, right? Like, I wonder, you know, if they realize their target demographic is not buying cars. They're using Ubers and not getting their licenses. And if that's why they stepped away from the like cookie cutter, off the shelf, Fast and Furious design style that they leaned into pretty heavy through 05 through, through this last year. Along with that, I'd be curious to know what this thing costs because it's styled like somebody's got to have their first job out of school to afford one of these. I don't know if that's the case, but
I can't imagine that they would price themselves out of the current bracket. They look way more high end.
Yeah. I think you're getting a lot of car for 26 grand here if that's what it is.
What this really makes me excited for is what the SI and the Type R are going to look like based off of this architecture, because you can kind of if you pull up especially the red photos that like you can tell the front where they could go a little more aggressive with the front end, and it oh man, daddy likey. Daddy likey. I'm so excited.
If I had a job that said they'd buy a car for me, you know, up to a certain amount, and my job was to be on the road quite a bit, this might be it. I know it'd be goofy pulling up to a business meeting in a Honda Civic, but this seems like I would get the most bang for my theoretical buck, and it would be fun to drive.
Yeah, as long as it comes into that like mid-20s price point.
I can't find anything with a projected MSRP.
No, it just got revealed like yesterday, I think. Yeah. So it's brand spanking new off the shelf. Where the problem will be is if like, this new look, it costs us another 10 grand to put this out. And if this thing starts wiggling its way up into the, you know, mid 30s ish, you know, kind of into proper Volkswagen, proper BMW, Audi, like the lower trim levels, like the A4s and the BMW 330, 328, that sort of ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it stands a chance there, but
you can get a 2020 Honda Civic for as low as $22,000. I mean, it's base, right? It's ugly. Nobody wants it if they had a choice. You can also get a 2021 Type R for $40,000. So the spread here, I'm a little scared that this thing's going to come out at, 28 or 32 base and go up.
The Honda Civic Type R is one of the best, if not the best, 4-door sports cars that you can buy.
Yeah.
From a chassis, handling, speed, comfort, usability, space, like everything that you could ever want out of a 4-door car. It's better than the STI. Usually the king of like, hey, I want 4 doors and I want to go fast and I don't want to really pay a ton of money. Like
right.
STI is what everybody does, right?
It's hard to undo that value, right? I mean, like $35,000, you get a loaded Subaru.
Yeah.
Loaded. Heated seats, $35,000 out the door. I mean, it used to be that. I mean, it's probably gone up a little bit.
Base STI starts at $38,000 currently.
Yeah, it's gone up.
Everybody agrees that the Type R is the better car, but people go out and buy the STI because it looks better.
You can drive it to work at your accounting job, and nobody's gonna laugh at you like you're a 13-year-old kid.
Right. That's the strangest thing. Like, why? I don't understand the total boy racer.
Yeah.
Thing that they
adolescent.
did.
It's adolescent.
Yeah. Like you had all the 16 and like 14 to we'll say 19-year-old people that love cars probably love the Honda Civic Type R the way it currently is. The problem is none of those people have $40,000 to go spend on a car.
Yeah.
So nobody buys them. And it's a fantastic car. It's the ideal car for you and me. 4 doors, fast manual transmission, 300 plus horsepower. Like we should want that car and we might actually want it now.
Yeah.
That's what's got me the most excited about this Civic news. When I saw it sort of pop up in my stream, like brand new 2020 or 2022, new body style, whatever. It's like, oh, great. Like, what do they do now?
Yeah.
And sure as shit, man, they took it in the right direction.
Yeah. I love all of it. I won't love the $37,000 price tag. But, I could stomach paying that as a professional, semi-professional adult, right? Like I could drive that car and not be embarrassed.
If this comes out and it's starting price of 32 or 33, like I think that'll be a little bit of a miss for them.
Where do you think it should start?
It's got to start like 26, right? It's got to start right there. Maybe even 24. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that's a steal. That looks like a beautiful car for $24,000.
Because you got to have room, right? You got to have room to for the SI. Like if you start this at 35, nobody's buying a Honda Civic Si for $42,000. Like, are you kidding me? No. Fuel economy is going to be 40 mpg. Jeez.
Yeah, boy. You get a nice downhill breeze, man. You could be pushing 45 like the old days. I used to get close to 50 miles to a gallon in my old one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's insane. What year did you own a Honda Civic?
91.
91 Honda Civic?
I know, it was an Accord.
How'd you like that car?
Oh, I hated it at the time. But I would buy it in a heartbeat right now just to have it back.
Yeah.
You can't find them though. They're gone. They are literally gone.
Out in a debris field.
Mm-hmm.
Parted out by Caribbean gangsters.
Why do they have to be Caribbean?
Catch more episodes of the Joyride podcast on your platform of choice or head over to our website at joyridepod.com.